Hello, this is Minerva Goree, and you are listening to the series Running into God. This particular storyline is about the gods of hope, who are Ricky and Minerva. They have many god designations, but for this series we are exploring their work within the family and their god functions as gods of hope. This is a story about the principles of parenting they came up with for their children. So let's get started. Gods of Hope, Principles of Parenting. Ricky, who is god of hope, had never had children in his lifetime as a god, much less on earth, until this human lifetime. He has lived many human lifetimes on earth. God and human lifetimes are not the same. In the last few years, he has found out that he is a god. He doesn't know what that means exactly since he grew up believing there was only one true God. Now he is more used to thinking it may be true he is a type of God, but not the one and only true God. He is a god of hope. In this human lifetime, he has 4 beautiful children that he is raising. They are loving and kind, but as a family they have had a hard life. They love each other and they love Dad. As he tries to assimilate to being a god, he realizes that he needs to make sure he writes and records the principles of parenting he teaches his children. This is important so they never forget how they were raised and never do something that goes against the family principles. As he finds out he is a god, he finds out that he is married to Minerva, who has many god designations, and one of them is god of hope, like him. They seem to have been married at about 12.3% of infinite time. Earth is from a creation that was created at 99.9999999% of infinite time, or approximates that. The problem maybe is that they haven't met and haven't married here on Earth. Their initial marriage is still valid on Earth, though. They started to communicate recently telepathically, and she tells him that she has 2 children and lives somewhere in the United States. She explains to him that she follows strict principles of faith to make sure her kids grow up to be people of worth. He likes this, and they agreed to write and record 3 main principles of family for their 6 children. Here they are. The following principles are the most important to these parents of hope. They know that all of their children have the designations of gods of hope, so this is really important. They need to be well and grow up before they can act in their functions as gods of hope. That means they get to be children first, then when they are older they can do work as gods of hope. They want to let their children know that these principles are not in any particular order. We use these principles to raise and guide you. They communicate to their children. The first one, be kind. There are 3 ways to be kind. We will go through each way to be kind. The first one is to be kind to yourself. In this lifetime as humans, we want you to always be kind to yourself first. This means that sometimes you may have to tell your parent they need to really listen to you. You are in need of their help. They may not realize you are very serious, so being impolite or building up to being rude to your parents is allowed. Just realize that every action has a reaction, and these are consequences. If you are really in need and the parent identifies this as true, then they will wait until after the situation to let you know the price. There's always a price for being impolite or rude based on the principles we follow as a family. Don't fear the price. For situations like this, your soul will tell you it's a very small price. The parents may give you extra chores. When you accept the consequences to your actions from your parents and do the extra chores, the soul will feel better and think it may not need a soul price to pay. You have repaired the situation with your parents. The next way of being kind is be kind to the situation. So first we were talking about being kind to yourself, and now be kind to the situation. When you are in any situation, you may need to be kind in ways you couldn't imagine. For example, if you are out with your parents and they run into friends, you notice you don't like the situation. They start asking personal questions you don't want to answer. You think your parents want you to answer politely, which seems to mean that you answer every single question. To be kind to yourself, it probably means telling the person point blank that you don't feel like answering and they are being rude to you. But you look over at your parents and think this is a very bad idea. So You can continue answering the dumb questions, or you can do something else. You can then be kind to the situation and tell the person that you need to be excused because you need to go to the bathroom. Or maybe you can smile at them and then look away for about a minute and then walk away. Walk away, walk away, walk away. This works because the other adults are probably going to try to get the person's attention as you walk away. The third way of being kind is to be kind to others. So we started with 1, be kind to yourself, 2, be kind to the situation, and 3, be kind to others. Most people probably think this is what should always be done, and it's not true. Sometimes when you are kind to others means that you end up being hurt. It's always about them and never about you. So this is what people confuse because they think it's being kind to others, but you're being nice to others. Being kind to others doesn't necessarily mean to be nice. So if you keep in mind that we are kind to ourselves first, following God's principles, means we always have to do that, which is the right thing. If we do it to be egotistic or to gain illicitly from others or anything else that is against our principles as a family, then we will feel it deep inside. Always listen to the voice inside of you. Sometimes people call it our soul. Sometimes people call it our internal essence of who we really are. Sometimes we think that it is our internal self that no one knows better than ourselves. If you follow this principle of being kind to yourself first, you will always be doing the right thing. And in this case, don't be kind to others or the situation first. That is the end of the first principle we wanted to talk about. So the second principle we want to talk about is always tell the truth. This principle should be straightforward because we believe in the truth. One of our main tenets is to be truth and hope. So always tell the truth and only the truth. Sometimes we may choose not to tell the truth, and there is always a price or consequence. This can be with a person, a situation, or ourselves. The next principle will explain that when we are being mistreated, telling the truth becomes more complicated and nuanced and may be necessary to tell a lie. So let's look at the third principle because we already went through be kind and then always tell the truth. So the third principle is know when to tell the truth. Since you are all under 26, which is considered being some type of child, maybe not in this earth, but everywhere else, 26 and below is you're still a child. If you're 18 and above here, we would consider you going out and learning how to be an adult, but you're still a child. And not to be treated as a child that's younger, just that you're learning. And we're here to guide you. So since you're all under 26, we will tell you that sometimes it is hard to tell the truth as your internal self is screaming at you to always tell the truth. Always tell the truth. Always tell the truth. And you know that this is better in this situation for all involved that you say a lie. You tell your soul, it's just a small lie, just a small lie. Maybe it's a big lie and I have to do it to save myself or my siblings. In the case of a small lie, you think, it won't hurt anyone. But then you start thinking, what if it does? Then you are responsible for the consequences of your actions. For every action, there is a reaction. In this case, it's called consequence. In this situation, be kind to yourself. You have had a hard life surrounded by bad people. You thought there was no escape. We would tell you that in a normal situation, there is no excuse for not telling the truth. So we will first talk about how you can get away without telling the truth in bad situations and not having to lie. You can wait to tell the truth. Sometimes you can ignore the situation for a little bit while being asked to tell the truth. After some time, you can then tell the truth. You can then decide if you keep the answer as short as possible or if you give every detail you know about the situation and the truth of the situation. Another way is to walk away. Find a way to walk away. Maybe you need to go to the bathroom. Is that a lie? Well, no. You may be going because you need to take a walk. You may be going to wash your hands because you touched something yucky. You may be going because you need to look in the mirror to see if you have a stain on your shirt. We don't know. If you get out of the situation and somehow they continue to ask questions you don't want to answer truthfully, then as parents, we will consider this a hostile situation. This means they may be looking for information to hurt you, the family, or your friends. If you have tried what is normal to get out of the situation and it continues, then you have the right to lie. Choose your lie wisely because you will have to maintain the lie, maybe for the rest of your life. What question may be that you don't want to answer? One question Mom didn't want to answer when she was a teenager was, when are you going to get married? At first, she evaded the question many times. Years. She ignored everyone and just walked away. She was thought as rude and she would get in trouble with her mom. She grew a reputation of being rude just by this one question she wouldn't answer. Then one day she got tired of it. She thinks she was about 15 years old. She decided to just straight out lie. She already knew she had to possibly maintain the lie for a long time. But then she thought, what if it's true? Do I really want to marry someone in this lifetime? She lied in bed awake many nights and thought on this. Sometimes she thought she would like to get married. Not many times. Most times she came to the conclusion that she really just didn't want to get married, but then it felt like a lie. If she met a person that would respect her work as a mathematician, and admire her work as an analyst, she thought this would make it a situation she would marry. But if she thought about it long enough, she couldn't see where any boy would want to marry a smart girl. So the point was moot. No marriage. She got very creative with her answers, and Dad was really curious when she said this. But it's too much detail for the story, she said, about parenting. Dad said, well, you owe me a story. Mom just smiled. Remember, our internal self always keeps track of whether or not we have followed our principles. Even lying under duress will be noted by the soul. The price is much smaller for lies that are warranted and are to keep us physically, mentally, and emotionally safe. Thank you for listening to this series on Running into God with the Gods of Hope, Ricky and Minerva. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.